of course, like I'm a homer. I'm not going to ignore that.
What do they see in this guy? This guy sucks.
Prepare yourself for the Raptors Report podcast with your hosts, Julian and Steve.
Welcome back to the Raptors Report podcast, everybody. I am, of course, Steve, and with me, as always, my co-host, Julian, who's a bit under the weather. So I'm going to be taking a bit of the lead here to help save his voice for as long as we can. Julian, how you doing?
There we go.
Julian, I think you're muted.
Yeah, I was muted for a second there. I wish I could say I'm like great, but I am getting better. My wife is now sick, and I got to take care of the kids now. So, things suck in a different way, but I'm getting on with it. How about you?
I'm doing all right. I've avoided it so far. So far, so good for me, but I'm sure it'll hit me at some point. I imagine that what you have is probably what Emmanuel quickly had that caused him to miss the NBA Cup.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be one of the things we're talking about today, the NBA Cup, how that went. We're going to be talking about Anthony Davis trade rumors, what that could potentially look at. We've got a fun little breakdown of some season report cards, the Raptors report cards for the top 11 players in the rotation. About a third.
Everybody who's not in the top 11, they fail.
Yeah,
they're getting. Yeah.
I just thought it would be unfair to give a couple of them grades Battle is shooting 60% from three, but he only gets a couple minutes a game, right? So they dodge that for now. We'll see how it goes the rest of the season. And then we're also going to be talking about Darko Rakovic's rotations. What have we seen? What do we like? What do we don't like? So right away, let's jump into how the NBA Cup went.
So that game was rough, man.
Yeah.
That was I first of all, we got to say, the way they started that game was great.
Yep.
Maybe not the defense on Brunson. I think Jamal Shedd's too small to cover him.
Yeah.
Emo Simovic, they did a halftime interview where they mentioned that they said we got to put more size on him. And then the second half, they had Abaji on him, and that actually worked a little bit better.
Yep.
Shedd's a little undersized. He's good at navigating screens, so he went off in the first quarter, but so did Brandon Ingram. And the Raptors were winning at the end of the first quarter, so I really liked that. That was a really good departure from what happened against the Celtics, where they just got kind of the doors blown off in the first quarter.
Or even the first Knicks game that they played, they kind of got shellacked that whole time. So that first quarter was a real great sign. And watching Brunson and Ingram go band for band, that was like peak hoops for the first 12 minutes. That was great. And then the wheels fell off that second quarter. Oh my God!
I blame the bench.
Yeah,
that really kind of how basketball is a game of runs.
Yeah,
and a lot of the time, if you screw up so badly, you can just kind of dispirit the team.
Yeah.
And the Knicks are so good, they're a really good team, that I think you got to be leading going into the fourth if you want a good chance. Well, especially when the Raptors are shorthanded, I think you got to go into things with the lead.
Yeah.
And they kind of fell way behind, and then I think it was just all a technicality after that.
Yeah, the little bit of a fake comeback thing was cool. They brought it within 13 points, but it never really felt like it was that much in reach. There was
I appreciated it, but
I liked the effort, and probably I could say 4 guys shout out to them for doing good work, but it was pretty bad for most of the players. Would have loved to see a lot more from Scotty Barnes and from Sandro Mamukelashvili. Had a rough night, really wasn't hitting anything. So Grady's minutes, I think the second Grady came into the game is when they lost it. Not to put it all on him, but it was not pretty for him. Yak
It was a lot of Darko too, but we'll
Yeah.
talk about his rotations in a second,
Yeah.
and maybe that's one of the reasons that is a topic on the show.
Yeah, honestly. And like Yak having some struggles which were uncharacteristic of Yak in terms of not catching passes and a couple of bad turnovers where he just threw it away where
Stupid, yeah.
it wasn't clicking. It was not typical of Yak, so it's like not convinced that that's what he is now, but it was definitely brutal to see, and I had a lot of moments where I was like, I should turn this off, but I didn't. I waited till the end and watched our bench come in and give some minutes, but pretty rough to go out. But again, the Knicks have a lot of talent, and you're down 2 starters. I mean, what can you really expect, right?
I was pleased. I wish it could have been like the game I described, like where they're maybe leading going into the fourth, or it's like a 2-point game going into the fourth where it's more back and forth. And I mean, as soon as I heard Quickly was out of this game, I'm like, okay, well, this one's cooked. I mean, Quickly is the best shooter on the team.
Yeah.
And when you say like Scotty had a bad game, he is the guy who is the rim pressure in the starting lineup, especially with RJ out.
Yeah.
And you've just subtracted one of the biggest forces of shooting gravity from the team. So it's hard for him to get downhill and go to the basket.
Yeah.
So like there's a whole bunch of things. It's like a cascading effect. And we've seen the results of that with RJ being out. But obviously I didn't go into this game expecting a win, although I did enjoy the first quarter. So
yeah, at least we got one good quarter out of it. Yep. It's just kind of you flush it, you move on, and you watch everybody else compete for the NBA Cup. It was fun being invested in the Cup, considering the years before we were out like 1 or 2 games into the initial round robin. So
I think they lost every single one of their game ones.
Yeah.
I think they've been eliminated like as soon as the firing pistol was started, they like slipped on a banana peel right out of the gates. Just
exactly.
Not fun.
Which is why I never cared about it that much in the first place, because I was like, I'm not really invested, right?
Yeah.
And so it was fun while it lasted, I guess, but you move on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I guess we should also move on. Now we could go into the player grades if you want to go into the report cards. Yeah, so we've got our Raptors report, 1/3 of the way.
Look at these graphics that Steve made. I'm usually in charge of the graphics, and he made these. So
thank you. I'm gonna we'll put it on the fridge, the Raptors report fridge. So we've got 1/3 of the season report cards. We're mathematically not exactly 1/3 of the way into the season, but we're close, so we're gonna call it that. So we're gonna start off.
We'll say first semester.
Yeah, first semester. That would have worked perfectly. I was looking it up, and people were like, what's a quarterly type word for 1/3 of the way? And people were like, trimester. And I was like, trimester. So weird. So we've got our honor roll. So that's kind of just 3 players that we picked. And we happen to agree on 3 of the players who have been kind of the standouts of the season so far. Obviously, Scotty Barnes, who I labeled as the Swiss Army knife. This guy is leading in a lot of the categories for the team. We know he's a do-it-all guy. Emmanuel Quickly, pace setter. I said that because he is one of the main drivers of transition, and we really felt that yesterday without him. I felt like the transition was a lot slowed down without him, but when he's in there, when he's available, they play a lot faster and they play with a lot of pace. So kudos to Quickly for that.
And then, another thing, if I can just steal just a second, like one of the things about pace is that you need a person to pull the trigger, right?
Yeah.
And I think we see it a lot when he's out, is that there's a lot of the balls being thrown around the perimeter, like who's going to take the shot.
Yeah.
And guess what? There's one guy who does like to take the shot, and most of the time it is the correct thing to do, and it's Emmanuel Quickly. So
yeah, exactly. And Brandon Ingram, it's a game changer because he's had some struggles recently, but you can't deny that the half-court offense improved substantially with the presence of Brandon Ingram, and the whole way that they play on offense has changed drastically as he draws doubles very quickly. And it's really kind of changed the way that the Raptors have played. And, he's got a game winner in there. He's had a couple of clutch buckets. certainly last night, he was the only player who really came to play. So I definitely say he has performed as a top player on the Raptor squad, which is good because these are the 3 top earners on the team. So it's good that they're at least matching that.
Yeah, for sure. And Brandon Ingram, he kind of rescued his grade with the past 2 games.
Certainly did.
He could have gotten maybe a little bit worse if he didn't show up in this cup game. So
yeah, I was going to hit him with the needs improvement. One of those that I got a lot of. Okay, so first of all, we're going to start with Scotty Barnes, who I gave an A- to, and you gave an A. Team rank wise, I could have put a lot of stats here, but I think the most interesting to me is that he's first in blocks and steals for the team and second in point per game. Pretty rare two-way play. As we see, he's averaging 19.7 points, 7.8 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 1.4 steals, and 1.6 blocks.
So
go ahead.
I have a question. Yeah, like you were about to describe A-. I was like waffling between A and A+.
So it's interesting because I think in my preseason predictions, in my preseason, what would be a good Scotty season, I said, if he can give you like 19, 8, and 5 efficiently, great season. And he's doing that. He's shooting 39% from 3. He is close to 60% true shooting. He's having his most efficient season ever and playing elite defense. But there has been so many games where he has dropped the ball and let it down. He's getting these 11-point games, 13-point games where he fades into the background again after some things are not working. So that's what brought the grade down for me. And I think last night also caused me to drop that grade because he couldn't get anything going against the Knicks. That's fine. They're a good team, but you need more. Given what the ceiling you want from this team, I think you need more from Barnes to not have off nights like that. The biggest thing I want from him is consistency. So that's why I dropped him to an A-, but it's probably one of the higher grades I gave because I'm pretty happy with his season so far.
Yeah, so I gave him an A because like he's been better in almost all the categories that I hoped he would be. First of all, he's like in so much more efficient than he was last season. Like it's just night and day. So like almost a full 5% better field goal percentage wise, over 10% better from 3. He's shooting 85% from the free throw line. That's like a guard. That is like literally like a point guard.
I think he's second or third on the team in free throw percentage as well.
Yeah, and his like all of his different shots are looking so much better.
Yeah.
And like it's not the prettiest shot. Like it's very mechanical and kind of like it looks kind of like a Biggs shot. You know what I mean? Like the kind of hoist it shot.
Yeah, but you can tell he's got like a 7'3" reach. Like because I tried to explain to somebody, I mean, a year ago when they were like critiquing him taking threes, like whatever. And I was like, you got to understand how much easier it is for a guy with a 6'8", 6'7" wingspan to shoot than a guy with a 7'3" wingspan. Like it is not common that they can hit threes. So,
he can get it so high. And like a lot of the things that worked for him last season, like that turnaround jump shot, that's still there. That's just been kind of waiting in the weeds for a need to emerge. And we've seen that a lot more with RJ Barrett out of the lineup, where they're leaning on him to generate more points in the half court. They're dumping him the ball at the elbow a lot more now and in the post a lot more now. And he has that shot still. And it looks really nice. Like when he gets into the paint, he can do sort of that over turnaround jump shot.
That over the shoulder. Yeah,
exactly. Nice and high. And it's pretty accurate too. And like, that is just, I mean, those are the things I wasn't expecting to be as good. And the things I was expecting, he has delivered on again. He's like one of the best defenders in the NBA, in my opinion. Yeah, it's. I think he has just been the team's best player. So
yeah, he has been, and these marks that he's hitting, he just dropped below 20 points per game, so he doesn't necessarily hit it now, but he's essentially in that realm. I did like a query, like a dig on it, and it's happened 10 times since the start of the 3-point era. So like 45 years, it's happened 10 times where a player has surpassed 28 or 27.5. with at least 1.2 steals and at least 1.5 blocks. So it was done 5 times by Kevin Garnett, 3 times by Garnett, 2 times by Giannis, Boogie Cousins, and Joel Embiid and Scotty. It's something like that, right? So these are
if you added in a player shooting over 38% from three, and it would probably be him.
Yeah, I think it's 0. Exactly. It's just him. I think
maybe
it's just him.
Joel Embiid, maybe. And
that was his MVP season, right? Yeah. Like that was whatever 2023 or whatever. But I think the really interesting thing was he's not a 1-for-1 comparison to Kevin Garnett. Definitely not. But similar in terms of their impact as this two-way forward who is doing a lot more than other forwards are doing. So that's pretty impressive for his age, and definitely good sign going forward. And it's like he's a unique player. His body movements are unique. He's a hard player to comp because it's unique, right? But anyway, so that was our grade for Scotty.
Sorry, I'm just putting that on the screen. Continue talking.
And I love it. So we'll move on to, we got Brandon Ingram up next. I gave it an A. You gave it a B+.
Yeah.
So he's first in point per game and third in rebounds per game. B+. Why a B+?
Okay, so B+, I am going by what my expectations were coming into the season.
Yeah.
So last season, I was very high on the trade. So when I gave there were a lot of people who were like lower on it and saying like they were confused by it, and there were a bunch of things that they didn't get about it, and et cetera, et cetera. And I was saying like, no, I think that this guy is an all-star caliber player.
Mm-hmm.
He has a really desirable skill set. He's a half-court creator who can make other people around him better. His shot is nice. He has a lot of really, he's a long, tall player. And these are the types of players that don't come around that often.
Yeah.
Like you just can't go and pick them up off of the free agent market. They're not available for trade that often, especially a guy who's like in his prime. Like he is literally right in the meat of his prime. So I'm high on this guy. I'm not surprised by what I'm seeing right now, but I am happy. I am happy. I think he's doing what I expected him to. The points per game are lower than I expected.
Me as well, yeah.
But now that I've watched what he's doing in the offense, I think that it is the right role for him. Mm-hmm. And I think that he looks like he's in his comfort zone and he's doing what he should be doing. And then on the defensive end, like it slipped. I'm not going to lie. The past week and 2 weeks or so, I think the exhaustion is starting to set in.
Yeah.
The cup schedule condensing the the schedule has really made Brandon Ingram, who is like, this is his first year back from like a year-long layoff. This is probably pretty hard on him. Yeah. And the guy is probably pretty tired. So I don't blame him for not being super great on the defensive end. Yeah, but prior to that, he was really good, and I have to give him props there.
Yep, and honestly, like the fatigue that is now affecting him is one of the reasons why I have him as an A, being that he is like third or fourth in the league in minutes played, like total. And this is a guy that played 18 games last season, so he's already surpassed it by like 7 or 8 games, whatever. He has been available. He has played the most minutes on the team. He's ahead of Scotty by like a couple dozen minutes, whatever, right? But that's far exceeded what the book on him was, what everybody warned you about him, right? So I'm giving him some credit for that, because it's really not easy to all of a sudden be playing, what is that, like a third more games than you did, and you're looking down another 50 odd games, right? So definitely I think he deserves some credit for that. And yeah, I've enjoyed him getting on the glass. Exactly. He was a bit more engaged in the defense before with some good rim protection, definitely getting involved in some steals. 0.9 steals is probably more than I expected out of him, which is also kind of the Raptors defense with their activity on that level. But so I think we're both decently happy with Brandon on that end.
Yep.
But I believe that earns him, I think that's my highest grade I went, and I think he
Nice.
deserves it. Okay, so moving on to RJ Barrett, the man that all the winning left with. So
It's easy to inflate someone's score when they are, when they leave and everything goes to pot.
Yeah, I mean, this is honestly the way they've been playing might be making him a lot of money, right? We don't know. But yeah, you gave him a B, I gave him an A minus. I give him an A minus relative to what my expectation was for this season, because I wasn't sure how he was going to scale going to a third option, and how he was going to be defensively working within that and everything. And he has scaled back fine. He's one of the best players next to Brandon Ingram. I don't know if you remember when I brought that up before, of Ingram's turnovers go down when RJ's not, or sorry, his turnovers go up when RJ's not in the game, and his assists go up when RJ's there, because he provides that like release valve for him getting doubled. So I like the way that RJ's fit into the offense, and I honestly expected him to be a little bit more inefficient than he's been. I'm not sure what his 3-point shooting's at now, but he's had moments where he does shoot well, and then like he's kind of
at about
spotty,
35%,
which is, I think that's about what I asked out of him at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, 35.6.
Yeah, so that's about what I was hoping, like on a good, right? I wasn't like expecting to be a 38% 3-point shooter. Just don't be a 30% 3-point shooter. So, yeah, relatively happy with RJ, and it'll be really interesting to see if, when he does get back, if they start winning, or what their schedule is going to be like by the time he gets back, because it might just be a symptom of schedule that they start winning again, but it looks really good on RJ.
Oh, for sure. So B is a good grade. I have been happy with what I've seen from him.
Yeah.
As you said, he's more efficient than last season. He's finishing better. He's shooting the ball from three slightly better. Obviously, the team has looked like crap without him. His defense has been a little bit better, although it's still not incredible. Yeah. And the thing is that like he definitely makes the game a lot easier. He's one of the better transition players. That they definitely have missed that.
Yeah.
And one thing I will say, kind of to dampen down people's ideas about him and him being out, is that I think if you took Emmanuel quickly off the team, and replaced him with RJ, I think they'd also look worse, like considerably worse, because Quickly's a really good shooter.
Yep.
If you take Brandon Ingram off of the team, well, look at last season. If you take Scotty Barnes off the team, they'd be in a shambles, right?
Yeah.
I think generally each of them brings something really important to the team. Like they're definitely not one of those kind of one-man Giannis type teams where it all hinges on one guy, and that guy has to be on the team. And if he's there, they're good. And if he's not there, then they're bad. Like this is a sort of a composite team where there's a bunch of different really important pieces. Yeah. And he is one of those pieces. And I think he has done a good job. And even his free throw shooting has gotten better. It was 72% this season, so it's recovered. So I think he's done a good job. Last season, I would have given him like a C- or something. His first season here, I would have given him a B+, because I was really surprised by what he did the first season he got here, and like how efficient he was, and like how he really took off, right? Or I'd maybe have given him an A just based on what I saw from him. This season, I was kind of expecting this, and he's delivered it. And so there you go. You get a good grade.
Yeah, that's good. And like I like what you said about how like composite, everybody brings something different, and losing any of them is like a big problem. Because I remember I was talking to a Cavs fan, and they were saying, oh, like, well, we were missing Darius Garland. Well, you're missing whatever. And I'm like, okay, Darius Garland might be a better player than RJ Barrett, but RJ Barrett might be a more important player to the Raptors roster than Darius Garland is to the Cavs at this point, because the Raptors need everybody. They actually need all their bench players to be hitting. They kind of need everything to go right. There are other teams where things go wrong, and they have enough insulation where it's like, they've got this guy coming off the bench. Like they've got Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench. He could be a starting point guard. Like Raptors don't necessarily have that. So I like how you said that, it is everybody bringing their own bit, and it really does have to all work together.
I'll date myself here, like the Simpsons reference where it's like Mr. Burns' immune system, where it's like the picture of like him trying to jam like a bunch of germs through a door all at once. And he goes, "This is your immune system." And he's pushing all the germs through. And he says, like, "See how none of them can get inside because they're all just getting jammed in there." And he goes, "Oh, great, I'm invincible." And he goes, No, if just one of the germs isn't there, then you'll just instantly die." And he goes, "I'm invincible." So that's what it's kind of like. You take out one of them and then everything goes to pot.
Honestly, and that's what it seemed. And I just want to pull up, Ryan asked an interesting question here. How much should we pay him if he stays? Which I think is a pretty interesting conversation for RJ Barrett at this point. What do you think would be
probably something
feasible?
Similar to what he's making now?
Yeah.
Probably something similar. I mean, they were paying him on potential, and he's reached that potential, and that's, I think it's a fair value. I think that what he's making right now is a pretty good contract for him. Yeah. I don't know if you'd agree with that. I'd probably be looking for something a little bit more lucrative, but I'm sure what he's making now.
I'm sure he would want more, and I'm sure that if the Raptors give him even close to what he's getting now, they'll get lambasted by the media as an overpay. But when you look at percent of the cap and everything, making 27, 28 is really not that bad for like a starting shooting guard who averages around 20. And I think what people don't realize about RJ is like what he's produced as a third overall pick is actually kind of a 90th percentile, 95 percentile outcome for a top 5 pick at this point. There have been so many top 5 picks who don't end up doing anything that getting this level of production out of him is actually a big success. So I think if they can get him around that same, hopefully he's likes it here and gives a little bit of a hometown discount. Wouldn't that be nice? Raptors haven't had a discount from any player in time.
No, they have to overpay.
Yeah. Moving on to Emmanuel quickly. We both gave him a B. We were in agreement on this. He's first in the team in assists and tied for second in steals. 16.5 points, 4.2 rebounds, 6.2 assists, which is the big number there. Why a B?
Well, so first of all, you have to incorporate the slow start. So the slow start definitely hurt the grade. Like, there's no doubt about it. He was one of the reasons the Raptors were 1-4 in their first 5 games.
Yeah.
He was shooting the ball like crap, and he's the best shooter on the team. So when that happens and he's taking a ton of shots, the team's not going to win many games.
Yeah.
And so he needed to get going. And once he did get going, like if you were just taking the composite of the rest of the season, I would say he'd probably get a B+. I'd say like that would definitely be where I'd put him, because I really appreciate what he brings to the team. I know there's a lot of people, like when they signed him, I said, Toronto hates shoot first point guards.
Yeah.
They don't like it. Canadians are socialist at heart. They like to spread things around.
Yeah.
They want to give presents to the neighbors. They want to make sure that everybody's taken care of. Nobody goes hungry. Everybody is, getting their fill. Everybody eats. And, the Americans, they love they love
their shooters.
They love their shooters. And self-made man, that's what it's all about there.
True.
You go out, you take your own shot, you make your own shot, and you're the best. You're the big gun, right? So that's my theory. But
I like that analogy.
I think that what he brings to the team makes sense with the rest of the roster. So Scotty Barnes is a really good passer. All of the other players on the team for their position are great passers. So you can afford to have a guy who kind of is more of a shoot first point guard. And it's not like he doesn't pass the ball at all, although he has been kind of making me a little upset recently with his decision-making and his inability to pass the ball to Scotty Barnes in certain situations. And yes, I agree. There are definitely some flaws in his game and with his decision-making. Sometimes his decision-making isn't top-notch. It's not like Steve Nash level. Don't get me wrong. This guy is a certain type of player. He's not like a facilitator.
Yeah.
But
Go on.
I was just going to reiterate, like, this team needs a guy who wants to take shots.
Yep.
Really, that they really do.
True.
Like they want to swing the ball around and have it land in this guy's hands, and for him to jack up a shot. So, you know, he's doing his job. He's shooting 38% from three on a good volume of shots. And that's exactly what you want from Emmanuel Quickley.
Yep, definitely. Like, totally agree with that. And I would say that the decision-making is what like is the reducer of his grade to me. I think talent-wise, he's got a handle. He can shoot. He does have a floater. It's when he takes it awkwardly is when he's not hitting those, right? So it's the decision making that frustrates me at times. His baseline out of bound struggles. He's had 2 or 3 5-second violations.
Just not put him in that position.
I don't get
the
it.
Smallest guy on the team.
Exactly.
It doesn't make much sense to me.
Scotty should be the one doing it. He's the best passer. He can see over everything. I don't know why they like have Quick run off a screen and get a pass from Scotty.
He's the fastest player on the floor too.
Exactly, right. Instead, we have to see these slow-mo replays of Scotty being wide open and Quick going, I can't see you, and then 5 seconds. So, yeah, that's what drags it down for him. But talent-wise and effort-wise, I've loved his effort.
Right, defensively too.
Yeah, the other game where he had 30 was against the Hornets, whatever, when everybody got blown out. He was one of the only guys that came to play that game. And he said after, tired is not an excuse. This is why we train. This is why we work hard in the summer so you don't get tired. And I really appreciated his
candor.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, and I think that that's a good motivator in the locker room. So I appreciate that about Quick there.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Moving on, we have Yak. I gave a C, you gave a C-. He is first on the team in rebounds, first in field goal percentage. He's been quite efficient, but he is averaging a 10-point per game, which is significantly lower, like almost 5 points lower than he was last season. And leading the team with 8 rebounds per game is not great. Why? One of the reasons, obviously, health and availability has dramatically impacted his ability to be an impactful player on the floor. But I did some digging and I pulled up per 36 stats for centers, right? And he is 31st in per 36 rebound stats for centers, behind a lot of guys. And I filtered out like guys who only played 10, or 5-6 games, whatever, right? As our leader rebounder, we have a rebounding problem. When Yak is not in the game, it's even worse. But our best rebounder, not even being a consistent double-double guy, obviously isn't helping them win the possession battle and win a lot of games. And yeah, I mean, it really just comes down to his availability. Why did you go C-? You
got to grade what you see. And listen, I know the guy is dealing with injuries. His back is effed up, and he's probably, dealing with a ton of pain. They're sitting him on back-to-backs. And he's in and out of the lineup. And you can only imagine that the guy is probably going through it. So you don't want to be too rough, but at the same time, like, as I said, you got to grade what you see. As you said, the rebounding hasn't been good. He hasn't been moving well.
Yeah.
The thing that he still does really well is the screens.
Yeah.
And the finishing has been fine. The finishing has actually been pretty good. Like, the floater is still there.
Yeah.
He can make layups. He has good hands. He can do that kind of stuff. And there are games that he's had that have been good. Then there's other games where he doesn't have the kind of zip and explosiveness that made him kind of an interesting player for his position. One of the best things about him at the center position was that he had 7-foot center size and strength, but he could move his feet kind of like a power forward. In that, you're not feeling like you want to have him play only in drop coverage when he is on the court. A lot of bigs in the league, you simply cannot have them play at the level of the screen. They're just going to get blown past every single time. And that's how it is this season. But last season it wasn't. And he made the defense look a lot better when he was in the game, because he could track on the perimeter. You could bring him up to the level of the screen. He could trap players on the perimeter. He had good active hands. He could do that kind of stuff, along with the finishing and the screen setting and all the stuff that we know he can do. But this season, he is just kind of a shadow of his former self. And it is sad because
Yeah.
I really liked watching him play last season, and I was really excited to see what he could do this season. And it just hasn't been impressive. But hopefully
Definitely.
the long layover that they're
Yep.
going to be getting the next couple of weeks or so is
Yep.
going to let him rehab and get his back in shape.
Hopefully. And I think, I mean, most people can see it. He needs some help. He needs a backup big who, I mean, Mamu has been great offensively, had some decent reps defensively, but he's not 7 foot. He's not an immediate spot filler for Yak. And you need a guy who can maybe take 5 minutes a game as well off of Yak, right? If you can drop Yak down while he's still rehabbing to like 26 minutes a game and not have to play through as much pain, I'm sure he'll start to look better as he rehabs. And I think they are doing him a disservice by not getting him help. But the Raptors seem to hate getting backup bigs who are actually 7 feet tall because they kind of balk at every possible opportunity to do that.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing that they and it seems like they've gone and released a lot of the guys that they could have developed at that position.
Yeah.
Maybe Chomshay sucks in practice, like he probably did,
Yeah.
but it would have been nice to see a guy who's like literally 7. Well, I don't even was he a legit 7 footer? But he was like 6'10" or
still
something.
growing. He was 6'11", but he was like 18, 19 and still growing, right?
And
but,
built like a brick. Like he looked like
Yeah.
like just like a gigantic square with a marble on top.
And was third in the G League in shot blocking. He, I'm hoping that that's just a health related thing. And Shamshay still, I know he's still going to 905 games randomly. So hopefully he's still in and around. And that's maybe why they're not filling the spot. But even a guy like Carlson, right? We see him on OKC.
Yeah.
He had like a dozen points in like 6 minutes or something the other day. And it just, it stings to see because that's a guy you had, right?
It's literally about minutes eating.
Yeah.
Like that is one of the most underrated things in the NBA.
Yeah.
Is that, and center is like a minutes eating position.
Yeah.
Because when a center is doing their job, you don't even notice that they're on the floor. Nobody pays attention to rebounds.
Yeah.
Nobody pays attention to strong side, like rim deterrence. Nobody pays attention to any of the things that they do really, or like layups. It's like, yeah, it's a layup. Yeah. Who cares? You're supposed to do that. Those are like important things that centers do that nobody cares about. But when they're not there and it's not happening, then you get like, you tear your hair out. And whenever he's out of the game, Jakob Poeltl, everything goes to pot even more than when he's in the game and hobbled. So yeah, they need a solution pretty quick.
Yeah, look, I see some comments about AD, so why don't we just touch on the AD thing right now?
Yeah. We'll come back to the rest of the grades, so stay tuned for the rest of the grades.
Yeah, so in terms of Anthony Davis, right? They've been one of the 3 teams rumored in, and I don't know why Detroit's in there. Jalen Duren looks fantastic. I don't know why they would even be considering to be in that, but it was the Raptors and it was do you remember who else?
The Hawks.
The Hawks. Okay, right. So that's interesting and they certainly have the firepower to pull off that trade, right? What are your thoughts on an Anthony Davis trade for the Raptors?
The only way that I would consider an Anthony Davis trade is if the Mavericks are desperate and they're trying to recoup value on him before, he leaves in free agency.
Yeah.
Because the timeline is such a mismatch with him and Cooper Flagg.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty obvious at this point that the blueprint that Nico Harrison was trying to come up with, which was AD plus Kyrie Irving, that's just not going to work. And the daylight is burning on that. And they probably want to move off of him sooner rather than later. And if they're desperate and nobody else is picking up the phone and giving like a reasonable offer, like I could see a situation where the Toronto Raptors give up, say, like RJ Barrett, Jakob Poeltl, Grady Dick, and a first-round pick for Anthony Davis. And I'd be like, yeah, probably. And people might question that, but he is right at the tail end of his prime, but he is still in his prime. Like if you watch him, like I watched him the other day, the guy is an elite player.
Yeah.
He is one of the best defenders at his position, if not the best. Like he is so good at the big position. Like he is a center. He doesn't like playing full-time center. So let's put that out there right now. He would prefer to start next to a real center. But when he's on the floor, the majority of the time, he is playing center. You play like small ball when he's on the floor. But he is insanely good defensively. He is an insanely good rebounder. He is a very good finisher around the basket. You can run all sorts of screen plays with him. He's an amazing screener. He's an amazing roll man. He can flare out. He has like a nice little mid-range game. He has a nice mid-post game. He's a super skilled player. He has a great compete level, a really good motor. The only thing is the injuries and the fact that he's making a ton of money at 32.
Yeah. He's like the 5th highest salary, but go on. You said if,
So if they were to get him and they keep Barnes, Quickly, and Ingram, along with AD, and they somehow scrape together some other deal to go out and get them like a reserve or like acceptable center and maybe some reserve pieces or whatever, trade away some, minor pieces here or there. Then you're looking at a team that could compete to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I do believe that. I think that the Raptors right now are good. I think that they were definitely not as good as, people might have thought a little earlier when they were on that big win streak, but I still think that they're pretty good. And when you take a player who is as good as Anthony Davis and you add them to a team like Toronto, you're going to have a really, really good team if healthy. And of course, listen, it's a gamble. I understand that. The guy is a Band-Aid. He's played under half of the games that he's been able to the past 7 years. And you also have Brandon Ingram on your team. And they're making a ton of money. I'm just thinking, like, if you want to go for it, then go for it. Right? If nobody's stepping up to the plate and giving them an offer and it doesn't cost too many future assets, then I could see them going for it.
Which is
go ahead.
It's just why I think that the Raptors are always in these discussions, because I think that Bobby Webster, Masai before, is always just got their nose in there going, how about I give you 75 cents on the dollar for it? How about that? I think that's what they're always doing and hoping somebody bites. And I think that's part of the reason, like part of the way they got Brandon Ingram. There was only one other team competing for him. And as far as I know, he kind of said, I'm leaning towards Toronto over Atlanta. And we had a bit of they wanted our first or something better, right? Or that Pacers first, which anyway, they traded that away. But I think that they're always kind of scratching to see if they can get a good deal out of it. I don't think that they would sell the house for him. So I think if they actually get seriously involved, I'm not too worried, because it means that they're probably not going to overpay. And it would be a high ceiling, like a high end talent upgrade for sure, because he immediately, like if you're swapping him and Pirtle, that's obviously, he makes 3 times the amount of Pirtle, but he's also a significantly better player on both ends, right?
He would literally take a team that is already good defensively and make them a top 5 defense in the entire league by himself. Like, listen, I know that the guy is always injured. I know he's got street clothes, this and that. But even when the chips are down, like the thing is that he's being held up. A lot of his most recent play, especially when he's been in the playoffs, when he's playing against a top 5 player all time, Jokic. Top 5 player all time, Jokic. Top
definitely
8 maybe or something. I don't know when the dust is settled, and like doing a pretty good job. Like he didn't stop him, of course, but it was like, guys, you can't be that harsh on this dude. He is an insane defender. He is so good defensively, and he is also an all-star offensively. So he would instantly take the team into the stratosphere in terms of defense. So just keep that in mind when you're evaluating him.
And I think he would value playing with Scotty in the front court, because Scotty gets on the glass. Scotty does everything. When you see a guy like that playing with you, I think what he doesn't like about being forced to play center is he feels like he's the only guy banging around down there and getting bumped up, right? But he's got a guy like Scotty down there with him.
Mhm.
I think he'd appreciate that. And if you're looking at like playoff potential matchups, right? Like you're looking at the Knicks or something. Okay, now we're not really worried about Cat or something, right? We're not really worried too much about like Jalen Duren would be a tough matchup for him, but Nemayesh Keita is no longer a worry. Nemayesh Keita punked Yak by being more mobile and more athletic, right? So it solves a lot of things, but it is exactly what you said. Is it a go for it move? It is a we no longer believe in Grady. We're moving him. We no longer this. We don't care about our 2027 pick or whatever. And boom, you move it, right? And yeah, he's got 2 more years at 60.
One
whatever,
is a player option. I am not
third is a
doubting
player
that
option, right?
this is a big gamble.
Yeah.
I just wanted to address this because I saw this in the chat. Poor work ethic, injury prone on the downside of his career. The final 2 are fair. He is injury prone and on the downside of his career. The first one's not true. The guy has fine work ethic. It's not about how he conditions his body. It's not about how he takes care of himself. He's always been ready to play. He's always been doing all the things that he should be doing. Mm-hmm. It's just he is, a lot of the time, bigs especially get injured and have recurring injury issues. It's not that he is some bum who is like going clubbing and like not taking care of himself or something like that. No, he's just injury prone. Yeah. And the thing is that being on the downside of his career, he's on the contract for the next 2 seasons. Okay. He'll be 34 when he's done. Like guys like Al Horford were meaningfully contributing going on like 36. Okay. Yeah. In my opinion, you get 2 years of Anthony Davis. Okay. And then you can choose what to do with it. If in those 2 years, the gamble is correct and he has a relatively healthy 2 years, or at least you make it to the playoffs and then he's available, then guess what? You just became a team that no other team in the Eastern Conference is comfortable playing against.
It's true.
Because you immediately have the best defensive player in the matchup.
Yeah.
You immediately have a guy who is one of the best post scorers in the matchup. You immediately have the best rebounder in the matchup, best shot blocker. All of these ticks all of these boxes that you don't really have to worry about. Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, it's a gamble, but I'm saying that gambles become worth it the less you have to leverage yourself in order to get that player. If I was out here saying like, give up 3 first-round picks and like pick swaps and like, okay, take Grady out, put Jacoby in, maybe like give up RJ and quickly instead of RJ
whatever
and Yak,
they ask
like
for,
whatever they ask for or something like that, then excoriate me, call me a homer or whatever. But I think it would be negligent for the Raptors not to try and kick the tires on this guy because he is a Hall of Fame. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's at the NBA 75, where they take the top 75 players of all time. He was on that list. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's just pump the brakes a little bit on the disrespect. But I get it. I get why people wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, like and I understand.
Narratives stick to guys, right? Like AD played 76 games, not last season, but the season before, right? He had a very healthy season that year. That's more games than Yak has played in a season, but Yak got held out for certain reasons and stuff as well. So it's kind of unfair to put that against him. But look, I groaned when we traded Valanciunas for Marc Gasol. I was like, that old guy? Come on. Yeah. And then I watched him play for 5 minutes and watched how he elevated the team. And I was like, okay, all right, you could trade a first as well. I don't care. Right?
Yeah. Just want to say this, like not a great rebounder. He, the past 6 seasons, let's say, he has averaged 13 rebounds a game. So yeah,
he'd be our best rebounder by far.
13 rebounds per 36 minutes. Excuse me. So he is a really good rebounder. Okay, but those are my thoughts. Why don't we pop back to the grades?
Over the grade.
Yeah.
Okay, next we've got Jamal Shed. I gave him a B+. You gave him a B. He's third on the team in assists, tied for second with Quickly in steals. 6.3 points, 1.8 rebounds, 5.2 assists, which is the big winner there. Still top 5 in the league in per 36 assists. up there with guys like Jokic and per 36 assists, which is kind of just speaks to his activity as a playmaker the second he gets in the game. Why did you give Jamal a B?
Jamal has been really good. Like, first of all, yes, as a backup, if you're really good as a backup, you're a good player.
Yeah.
But he has shown me a lot of stuff this season. He has gotten better at the things he was weaker at, and he has really leveled up, I think, as a playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little disappointed in terms of some aspects of his defense, and I think a lot of it's out of his control.
Yeah.
Just because of his size.
Yeah.
There are things that he does on the court that nobody else on the team can do. He is an elite playmaker.
Yep.
Like just a fantastic passer, a fantastic pass maker. So it's not just about being able to map the court and know where your teammates are. You have to actually make the pass with accuracy to get it to that player. And he's got those passes. Like, he's got such a great array of passes in order to make his teammates better. But obviously he has big holes in his game. Number one, he's small.
Yeah.
We saw it against the Knicks. I think I mentioned it already. He's too small to guard Brunson.
Yeah.
Players who can create space easily, players who are taller than him. He's very limited in the types of players that he can guard. He will go out there and get you a bunch of deflections, illegal screen calls.
He's probably the best in the league at that.
He is, well, maybe Davion Mitchell, but yeah,
that's true.
He is a dog. Like, he is going out to win every possession, and I love that. Another thing is that he is not a good scorer.
Yep.
So, like, he can't finish at the rim because he's too small and he's not athletic enough.
Yep.
And he doesn't have a mid-range game like a pull-up jump shot or a floater or something that allows him to not get blocked. And he's been getting his shots swatted.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Was that him who got that OG one yesterday where he just
Mamu
fully windmilled? Oh, that was
Mamu
crazy.
Yeah. But him and Grady got erased by OG, but somebody else blocked. I think it was Mitchell Robinson who erased his shot, but he's been getting blocked all over the place. Yeah. So he does certain things really, really, really well, and he does other things poorly. Yeah. And that's why he is a backup point guard right now. Yeah. But I think that he has potential, that he could work on the aspects of his game that he's not good at right now and continue to improve and continue to, he has potential. I don't know where it could end with him. Like, could he be a starter someday? Is he going to be good enough to stick in the league? Like, there are a lot of questions that you got to ask about this guy.
Yeah.
But he is playing really well.
Yeah.
And I expected him to be better this season because I really liked him last season. So I gave him a B.
Yep. I like it. Yeah. Honestly, I've liked his ability as a leader, and I've liked his 3-point shooting was doing well, but it's falling off a cliff recently. But occasionally he'll utilize his speed and be able to actually get to the net unencumbered and before a defender gets there. That's been nice. But yeah, he struggles with the self-creation. So yeah, definitely there's still some question marks about him. And I just want to highlight Mike's question here, because this is something else we wanted to talk about in regards to Elijah Martin. Do you think they're going to give Elijah Martin a longer look at some point this season? As we saw with Elijah Martin, he just got Player of the Week in G League.
Yeah, well, we could take a break from this certain segment because we were going to talk about him. So
yeah,
Mike, you've highlighted one of our talking points here. So yeah, as Steve was saying, Elijah Martin won Player of the Week in the G League, and he was averaging like 26 points per game, like shooting like over 40% from three, I believe, on like a good volume of shot attempts.
Yeah.
And the guy is really strong and really tenacious. And he's got that fast twitch muscle movement that allows him to stay attached to people.
Yeah.
And he's got like, he looks like a little, like a fire hydrant, or like, I don't even know how to say
Like
it.
Eric Bledsoe. Like you remember Eric Bledsoe, right? Just like
Yeah,
this little
it's small.
cannonball.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right.
And he's kind of like a shooting guard. That's pretty much what I would say. Like maybe Norm Powell, like if he hit the tippity top of his ceiling,
Yep.
maybe like not as good of a scorer, maybe a bit better of a defender, that kind of thing. But yeah, he is an intriguing player.
Yeah.
He is a really intriguing player, and I want to see him play. I thought he played really well off of the bench. The loss against the Boston Celtics, and then even last night, like, so the Knicks, for whatever reason, like they were playing it like it was the group stage, and they were leaving their starters on against like the third stringers. I was like, what's going on here? But it let me see something really cool, which was Elijah Martin guarding. Oh gosh,
Brunson?
Brunson.
Yeah,
and man, he stonewalled him. He was like tracked him all the way in. And then challenged the shot, and it went off the heel. The guy looks like he could be a player in the league.
Yeah.
And there are certain players who look like they aren't going to be players in the league.
Exactly.
So why don't we just accelerate the process here and see what we've got on our hands?
Yeah.
And maybe it would even help the team kind of get bust out of this little snide.
Yeah.
Because go ahead.
If you got to light a fire under guys like Grady and Ochai, get this pit bull behind them taking their minutes, right? Because that's what happens when these guys are not living up to their draft position, or like those are two lottery guys, right? Ochai was lottery, Grady was lottery, and they've both been disappointing, right? So why not give Elijah a chance? I guess my only concern with him is he a very good low leverage hooper? Because he was awesome in college and he's doing awesome in G League, right?
He was
exactly right. So
was he
already
a 5-year player?
I think, yeah.
So
I think so, right?
He had that first year in the COVID season, so he stuck around. I think he's a 5-year player. So like the guy is not a spring chicken or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it's not like he has like super amazing stuff to scrape from his upside.
Yeah.
But that's not exactly somebody that you'd want to give minutes to at this point. You don't want to give it to somebody who's raw and needs to develop. You want to give it to a guy who's ready to play now.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of been the trend that teams are going, right? Like Nick Clifford getting picked just outside of the lottery. They're looking at it and going, I've got a tight cap crunch. I need a guy who's ready now, who's not as expensive as a vet, right? So yeah, he might be that kind of guy for the Raptors, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like the thing that Elijah Martin does is that like he shoots the ball, he likes to score, he can cut, he can do stuff like, hey, what kind of player are the Raptors missing? That sounds like kind of an RJ Barrett kind of player. So yeah, they need who can maybe do that. And we know some players who can't do that. So swap the minutes.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the grades here.
Yeah. So moving on, we got Grady, who I gave a big D for Grady Dick there, and you gave an F. Honestly deserved. He's 9th on the team in point per game at just 6.3 points per game. Significantly worse than last season in that aspect. 4th in free throw percentage is the best team rank stat I could pull for him. He's shooting like 31 or 32%. He's our guy who's supposed to be a shooter, and he's not shooting it. And I don't know if he's ever been shooting it. He had that streak where he was averaging 20. Even then, he was only shooting like 35%, right? So he's been, on the whole, pretty disappointing. And he's losing a lot of minutes the second you put him in. So, he's got one of my lowest grades and probably your lowest grade as an F there.
Yeah, for sure. So F is people are afraid to give Fs. If you ever look at any kind of, review or anything like that, if you ever watch, what's his name? The Needle Drop, he'll give albums zeros that he's like, this album's no good.
Yeah.
I give it a 0. I respect that more. Like I'm not saying that you're wrong or anything like that, but I think sometimes you just need to give like the lowest grade that you could give, honestly, because there is a standard that you have to play at in order to get minutes, and he hasn't met that standard, and I consider that an F. And so It's not that he is like, it is impossible for him to not fail.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not that it is like a mountain that cannot be scaled, that he cannot reach his potential. Okay. But it's not right now. It is not good enough.
Yep.
And every time you stack a season on top of another season and there are the same problems that aren't getting fixed, you have to start to cement those. That is, it is starting to paint a picture.
Sure.
Like in the beginning, the first rookie season, the picture is hazy.
Yeah.
You can't make out what's going on. Oh, this was really interesting, but maybe that's a face, or maybe that's, a sheep. Like, it's like looking at a cloud and trying to figure out what animal it looks like, right? In the third season, things start to crystallize, and you start to see what the strengths and weaknesses of a player really are. And the sample size builds and builds. And then you start to say, well, if you put the player in the game for this many minutes, this will be the result, basically.
Yeah.
And we're getting to that point. He is too inconsistent. His 3-point shooting has not been good enough, especially the movement 3-point shooting, which is what his skill set demands. Like, if you were to ask me what he needs to be able to do in order to become a successful NBA pro, it would be to be able to run off of screens, catch the ball, and make over 35% of your 3-point shots. He's not even close to that.
Yeah.
Anytime you add movement to a shot, it drops through the floor. He's shooting well in the corner. Whoop-de-doo. Lots of people shoot well in the corner. He does stuff in transition. Like, he's improved in a lot of different areas, but at the end of the day, it's about kind of consistency. It's about shooting. It's about what you do on the floor, and, whether the juice is worth the squeeze. Right now, the Grady juice is not worth the squeeze. So I gave him an F.
Thank you for saying Grady juice instead of the other. And to me, it doesn't help that, and I know he's been inefficient, but Keontae George averaging 22 points a game and 7 assists a game. Imagine Grady Dick was doing that. Now, substantially less opportunity. I saw a graph that was showing the players with the least, basically, time on ball, the least amount of time with the ball in their hand. And Grady was like bottom 8, right? Like, he's not getting touches, so it's very hard for him to get hot. But it's chicken or the egg.
Time on ball and touches are kind of a little sketchy here, especially when you're talking about what his skill set is. So
he's supposed to shoot it the second he touches it, right?
Exactly. Movement shooters are never supposed to touch the ball until the final play, right? And yes, he can do stuff like slash, and he should be given, it would be better for him, let's put it that way, if he could have more opportunities. But like, I wouldn't get too caught up in the time on ball, because he even if he was playing super well, like if he was like really, really shooting the doors off and playing super well, his time on ball would also still be pretty low.
That's true. Yep. And I mean, like, honestly, his career is kind of starting to get on the line as he's becoming closer and closer to extension eligible. And as you said, stacking bad seasons, you start to wonder, we're trying to build a roster of all these two-way players. He's not a two-way player, and he's barely a one-way player right now, right? So, it's the Alice in Wonderland rabbit meme for Grady, right? With the clock is ticking for him, exactly, right? So, that's our grades for Grady there. Jacoby, I gave a B-, you gave a C+, 4th on the team in 3-point percentage at around like 39%, 4th on the team in steals, and kind of underwhelming at point per game at 5.5, but he's had a bit of a inconsistent minutes. Interested to hear why Jacoby C+.
Well, he's been better lately, and he has been getting more opportunities, but at the beginning of the season, I mean, there was a time when it was Grady who was looking like the better player. I mean, they're in different years, of course, but it was looking like he was going to be a little bit more promising than Jacoby at the beginning of the season, because Jacoby was just not playing very well at all. Recently, his shot has come way around, and he's shooting it like he was last season. So I think there's some recency bias shading some people's perception of him. and he is still inconsistent. And there are a couple of issues with him. So you mentioned it in some previous episodes where he is still a little light. Like one of the issues with him as a defender is that, like we saw it against the Celtics, when Jaylen Brown was playing, and you can't put Jacoby on Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's just too strong. So they put Ochai on Jaylen Brown, and that looked pretty good because Jacoby is stacked. Like, Ochai is he's like really physical. So that's one thing that he needs to improve on is his body. He needs to get stronger.
Definitely.
But the defenses, like the players he can defend against, I'm not going to say he's been perfect because there's been some bad games, especially the one against Con Knippel. Like Con Knippel kind of fried him.
Definitely.
But against some of the things, I think against the Knicks in their first meeting, he played Jalen Brunson really well, like super well.
It's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, he's against those smaller guards. Fantastic. He played excellent against Donovan Mitchell as well.
Right? Exactly. That was super impressive.
Yeah.
The shooting is really promising, and I like that. He cannot finish. His instincts going to the basket are poor. He doesn't have great, like when you watch RJ play, the guy is like a homing missile for the basket. And he finds those seams, right? Where the big comes out to challenge and he can kind of like navigate around them. And his handle isn't like super awesome or anything like that, but he has the momentum. And I guess physicality helps there as well. But a lot of it is just like the tenacity to try and get in there. He doesn't seem to have that. And the handle is definitely a huge work in progress at this point. He just basically does not have a functional handle for his position. Even on the fast break, it looks wobbly. So he has things he needs to work on. But as a role player right now, which is 3-and-D, those are like, as I've said in the past, if you have those two things, you can play in the NBA. And he has those two things right now. So I wouldn't mind continuing having him in the lineup and having him grow and work on the things that he's not good at. But that's like a work in progress grade. That's like a C+ grade. And so I'm comfortable giving him that grade right now, especially with his slower start to the season.
For sure. Moving on to Sandro Mamukelashvili, who I gave a super high grade to, I would say. I gave it an A-. You gave a B-. I think I kind of thought of it relative to my expectation because I honestly didn't expect much out of this guy when we got him. He's 6th on the team in point per game, 4th in field goal percentage. He has been pretty efficient, and he has struggled to shoot the last couple games, but he was one of the best shooters early on, and just a wonderful surprise for a guy that you grab a couple days into free agency on a minimum, right? What are the thoughts behind your grade?
Maybe I was a bit too low here, the way that you mentioned it. You're right. Like, he has exceeded my expectations going into the season. Maybe I could grade him based on the number of minutes that he's getting.
Right.
So for 20 minutes a game, that's a pretty substantial chunk of minutes at the power forward position, where the Raptors are kind of deep. Like, they've got him, they've got Brandon Ingram, they've got Scotty Barnes. Like, he is technically a power forward. Yes, he plays center. But when he's playing on the court, a lot of the time it's with Scotty Barnes, and Scotty Barnes is the center. I have been kind of disappointed in his rebounding.
Definitely.
So when you look at the per 36 stats, his past couple of seasons, they were a lot better than they were this season. He was averaging, like, I believe, I'm just quickly pulling this up right now. He was averaging 10 rebounds per 36 minutes last season. He was averaging almost 12 the season before per 36.
Wow.
And this season he's averaging only 8. So, if you're playing him in a front court position, ostensibly at the center position, Scotty Barnes, if he's your center, he's not a good rebounder. So you need to have another rebounder on the floor with him. And he's not good at that. His shot started off like mega hot and has regressed. These are all I'll start with the criticisms because, we've seen more of that recently. And the last thing is that he's not really a center. So I don't even think he's that bad of a defender for a position. Like if he's playing power forward, if he had a competent, like an actual backup center, like his defense is pretty good. Like he actually goes out and competes and he's trying to block shots and he's picking people up on the perimeter, hustling, moving his feet, like swinging at the ball. But like he's not tall enough. He doesn't have long enough arms. He's not a rim deterrent in the way that a center should be. So let's get those things out of the way. I have been very impressed with the completeness of his offensive game. So when you watch him play, the guy can do a little bit of everything. He's very fast on the ball and he's got a very competent handle for a big, like I would say great handle for a big. He can put the ball on the floor with both hands. He can curl to the basket. A lot of the time, if you put a big on him, he can get past them going to the rim, especially if they bite on his pump fake. He's at the basket. The other thing is that he's a good passer. He can make nice reads either in the post, like a lot of the time, if he's guarded by a smaller player, they'll put him in the post. He can use his back to the basket game, find players out of the post, score in there a little bit as well. And then there's the shot, which has been more miss than hit recently. But if you look at his shooting percentage, he's shooting like 37% from three on decent volume, especially per 36 minutes. So yeah, he's been good. Maybe just in retrospect, I would bump it up to a B because I think they're having him play a little bit out of position. So you can't, a lot of my criticisms are of him as a backup center rather than maybe what he should be playing.
He does seem to be a guy that Darko trusts. And because of that, Darko's like, go out there and save these minutes, go do that. Right. And there's been a couple times where he's getting some grenades where it's like Scotty defers to him and he has to pump and drive and he makes something out of it. Right. So I've been pretty impressed with that from him. So overall, I think we're both pretty happy with what Sandro's done so far. Okay. We got our guy CMB here, the rookie, third in 3-point percentage on the team, which is probably the biggest shocker. Not high volume, but he was supposed to be one of those negative guys on that end. Third in field goal percentage. He has been efficient, even with a couple of games where he has not looked so great on that end. He's still efficient on the season. 7 point per game. He is outscoring guys like Grady and Jacoby. He's jumping them pretty easily. I gave a B+. You gave a C+. What are your thoughts on CMB?
I loved this guy coming out of college. Okay. I was so high on him. I was like, this guy is going to like revolutionize the Raptors. He's going to be so good.
Our first episode was the draft and you were pumped.
I was
that
super
pick
pumped.
hit.
And he has been good. But there are some things that haven't been as good as I had hoped they would be.
Right.
First of all, I think the 3-point shooting is a little fake right now. He hit a ton of threes earlier in the season and just has not even attempted any recently. So I just don't know if that's like a real thing or just like a low sample size thing. One of the things has been the rebounding. So I know that the rebounding looks okay, like 3.3 rebounds in 17 and a half minutes isn't like terrible, especially for a rookie. Let me just get that per 36. But yeah, that's under 7 rebounds per 36 minutes. So that's not very good.
And he was one of the best rebounders in college.
Exactly. Yeah,
so
that was where I expected him to make a big difference.
Definitely.
He has made a lot of mistakes on defense, and I expected him to be like he is. First of all, there's two things here. He is both a super high feel player and very smart and really reads the game well, but he's also a rookie. And he is making like a ton of rookie mistakes when he's on the floor. So there is that, like he'll leave his man to double at the wrong time, or he'll, overhelp in a certain situation or underhelp in another situation. So there's some issues there. I also feel like there are invisible nights from him.
Where
true. I think that he could be more assertive. I think that he could be trying to drive the ball a lot more. And I feel like that there are other players in his draft class that have kind of been like more impressive than he has. Obviously, I think that he is getting less of an opportunity than someone like Derek Queen.
Yeah.
But I had him like way higher than Derek Queen.
Yeah.
Derek Queen looks like going to be a future superstar, which I didn't expect. I'll be honest right there. So like maybe I'm grading him based on seeing other players in the class. It's not really fair to him, but I was expecting a little bit more from him. But at the same time, I'm still pleased with what I'm seeing from him on the floor. Like last night was a good example of that, where I thought he played the game like when you watch him play, he'll do like 10 things in 10 minutes where you're like, oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Oh, I liked how he did that, or like he got a deflection here, or maybe he forced the ball out of somebody's hands with a smart double or whatever. Like the guy is reading the game at a high level, and I'm still very high on him as a prospect. In fact, I had him as one of like my top rookies at our draft slot. So I'm still very high on him, but I need to see things in certain areas, especially the rebounding and especially the assertiveness. So
yeah, for sure. Makes a lot of sense. I think I'm probably just giving a lot of grace to him being a rookie and coming in with having a couple of really good games and a lot of invisible games in between. So I think I'm maybe being a little bit generous with his grading. But there's been a lot that I've liked, and I think that he is meshing quite well with the team, and I do see a lot of upside things that have happened with him so far. And I think my biggest question mark was he was super efficient in college. Like he was one of was in the SEC, I think, and like top 5 in efficiency or something in that, and like top 2 or top 1 in rim field goal percentage. And I was really curious if that was going to translate to the NBA level. And in a lot of ways, his efficiency has translated. So I'm giving him kudos for that, because that is not an easy switch to make. And I don't think that he is getting an easy run of it with some of these lineups that Darko is throwing out.
No doubt.
I think he's when he plays with Jamal Shed or when he plays with Scotty Barnes, he's playing with high, like talented playmakers and stuff that can help put him in a good position. But when there are some lineups where it's like, okay, IQ, who's not really looking for him.
There's nobody spoon feeding him.
Yeah. And he's just kind of running around setting screens just to get somebody else a shot. Right. So, so I guess that's part of where that is. Yeah.
He's not the silver spoon baby who's being given the little, getting his hand held and walking. Like he's the hard scrabble kid who has to, help his mom. I don't know. Jesus Christ. I don't know where I'm going with this, but he is not being babied for sure.
Yeah. And now we hit Ochai, who I believe is our last player on here as part of the main rotation. He saved
himself from an F.
Yeah.
The past couple of games.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now.
That has been substantially better. Whatever it was the other game, he hit his first corner 3 of the season or something. But he's been hitting shots. He's been defending well. These last couple of games, a lot of my grade is based on the beginning half of the season and the fact that he is shooting 9% from 3. Where he's at right now, this 3.4 point per game, 2 rebound, like less than an assist. Last season, he was over 10 points per game. He was one of my favorite 3-and-D players that we had, and certainly kind of low cost around the league. I was quite happy with him. That's not been there, and he's falling out of the lineup and losing trust with the coaching and all that stuff. But gaining it back these last couple of games. So that saves.
Oh, wow. Hold on. He's playing 15 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have to change that to an F. Listen, I did like what I saw from him at like 3 points in 15 minutes. That has got to be one of the worst things. That's got to be the worst in the league.
There's got
to be there. Well, what's his name who plays for, is it, who's the worst? Tyus Jones, right?
Oh yeah.
The Nets,
the Magic.
The Magic.
God. Yeah. He's got to be lower because he
went for like an entire month without scoring or whatever. But 3 points in 15 minutes. I thought he was only getting like 8 minutes a game or something.
And he's shooting 9% from three.
Okay,
Like,
listen.
I'm
sorry, Ocha. You've been playing better lately, but we're gonna adjust this grade. I carried the one wrong, and I got your grade incorrect. And
I probably
have a fail at this point.
I'm probably being too kind with the D-. He should probably be sitting at the F. It's quite disappointing because like, he's not a sole guy losing you games, but a guy who's a 15-minute per game player who was expected to be a big part of the rotation and expected to potentially be the 6th or 7th man.
Yeah.
He's losing.
He's scared to shoot. That's the first thing, but it seems like that's changing. So like, this is of course, this is the first semester. This isn't the final grade. But it seems like it's changing right now.
Yeah.
That he's not as scared to shoot. But earlier in the season, when a shot stopped falling after like the first, 4 games or something like that, it was hot potato.
Yeah.
And the thing about a 3-point shooter is that you got to have the nuts to be able to pull the trigger. And you can't just, like, if you miss, you miss.
Yeah.
And 1 3-point attempt in 15 minutes, that's what he averages. And that's your only skill on offense.
Yeah.
Other than fast breaks, I'd say.
Yeah.
That's not enough. You got to empty the clip. And if he did that, I think that it would probably go back up again, but he's passing up open corner threes. I hate that. That is my least favorite thing, is that when there's a player open in the corner, they are a 3-point shooter and they don't take the shot. That is what you're there for.
No, exactly.
That's why you're there.
Exactly. That's literally your job. Like, you'll see Scotty drive into traffic, kick to the corner, and then he swings the rock. Or BI gets doubled and
try to drive it or something.
Yeah, right. And like, he's had a couple dunks, sure, but he's also been blocked at the rim a couple times, and like, that'll happen, whatever. But you're probably the most athletic player on the team. His athletic testing.
He had that 6 block on Cat last night.
Yeah, that's true. But his athletic testing was superior to VJ Edgecombe's in verticality, speed, all that stuff. That was a couple years ago now for him, but he's still in incredible shape, and he's still only like 25, right? So he's not declining athletically, but he's a guy that you need to be like your most active, running down the floor, dunking everything, taking every shot, if he's going to be a usable role player at all, and he just isn't. Everybody is trying to figure out a way to package him in a trade or get him out of here, because I believe it's his contract year, or they picked up the option or something like that. I believe it's his contract year. And is he getting another deal? Not from us.
Yeah, no. His defense has been good. I mean, that's a constant you're going to get with him. Yeah. It's not elite, but he's big, he's strong, he's in the right position the most of the time. He can move his feet. He's got pretty good hands.
Yeah.
He's athletic. He looks like a prototypical basketball player.
Yeah.
It could have been a success story, and I'm not sure where it went wrong. I think it's about confidence with him. This is what happened to him in Utah when they shipped him out. The season that they got rid of him, his 3-point shooting cratered, and he became afraid to shoot the ball. And so they were like, bye. And then he came to Toronto in that one trade, and he was also scared to shoot the ball in Toronto. He's kept passing up open corner threes like he's doing this season. And I was like, oh God, they wasted the pick.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the pick they sent out, which was Isaiah Collier.
Yeah.
And last season was like, oh my God, like what a revelation. They got this guy. He looks like the prototypical 3-and-D player.
Exactly.
All that kind of stuff. And then this season has been a disaster, like absolute disaster. That said, he's been playing better recently, so maybe he deserves to be in the rotation, because they're struggling for answers right now. So
yeah, exactly.
Work in progress. Hopefully he can turn it around.
Yeah. I mean, he has at least until the trade deadline. I don't know. He would probably get packaged as a salary, his whatever $5 million that he makes. If anything, I don't think anybody's actually trying to get him. But yeah, there's a lot on the line for Ochai, and he shouldn't be afraid to shoot it. And whatever shooting pill Darko gave him last season, everybody mocked that video where he was teaching him how to shoot again. He needs to do it again because obviously he forgot.
Give him the Coles notes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that for our player grades. And I think the only other thing we wanted to go over quickly is Darko's rotations. And
we've kind of gone over it a little bit,
yeah.
but we could go into it again. I think mainly we don't want to have to beat a dead horse here because we've been talking about the rotations over and over and over again. But it was easier, like to Darko's credit, the system that he's implemented, and when everybody was healthy, it was kind of, everybody was looking good. Everybody was kind of had a niche and they were trying to do their thing. It's only been recently when, players are missing and the machine has kind of, the gears are getting stuck and everything's not working as smoothly, that his sub patterns have not adjusted. And I think that has always been his flaw, has been his sub patterns.
Definitely.
And how much rope he's willing to give a player, because he's the friendly, like, never give up hope dad who is trying to help his sons, his many sons, achieve greatness. And as we saw, that is, he may not be the greatest judge of talent. Remember when he was giving Malachi Flynn and Precious Achua these like spoon-fed minutes and bringing them off the bench at the same time every game, no matter what. And let me tell you, when I mean no matter what, I mean no matter what. Like, these guys were literally had the worst plus-minus pairing of anyone in the league. Like, it was an insane combo. Like the putricity of those two was like you could smell it through the screen. But the thing is that like the roster isn't as bad as it was then, so it doesn't look quite so bad. But at the same time, like especially last night, the sub rotations are starting to get like a little, they're not passing the sniff test. Where I get it, you want like to develop when you're also trying to compete and you got to bring guys along, but I think that there's like, to go back to the metaphor about parenting, as a father myself, I am always trying to help my children grow and get better. But a lot of the time you can't be the like nice 100% of the time. Sometimes you got to have a limit, like a point at which you no longer behave in the same manner as the first couple of times. Sometimes you have to put a hard cap on whether somebody is going to get minutes.
Honestly, look at the results that Joe Mazzulla gets out of a roster that has just traded away multiple championship pieces, right? They are now ahead of us in the standings, I believe. And do you think he cares about which player plays which minutes for their feelings? He'll look them dead in the face and go, I don't care. Who cares? Play better, right? Now, that's not Darko's style. I don't expect him to be somebody he isn't. But like the biggest thing that's been annoying me is the bench guys come in, they go on a run, they drag them back. Thanks for getting us back in this game. Go to the bench. I'm bringing the starters back in. Boom, they lose.
The auto sub patterns.
It doesn't make sense. When that overtime loss,
the Celtics, let's.
But yeah, so the Hornets game, the overtime loss against the Hornets, right? They sat LaMelo Ball. They said, "We've got a couple minutes left. Colin Sexton is outplaying you. You're sitting." LaMelo Ball didn't cry. He sat on the bench. He cheered for his team. He didn't play in overtime. They won the game. Do you think Darko would have the balls to do that to any of the starters and go, Scotty, you don't have it tonight? Guess what? Sandro's playing better than you. He's going to finish the game. No, he wouldn't do that, right? But Charles Lee, who's a first or second year coach with that, is going to do that, right? That's the tone he's setting. And I think, I don't think he has that tough love, as we're saying in the comments.
Yeah, so well, it's something to examine. And the number one thing is that I like Darko's approach. In the grand scheme of things. Where he is very positive and he's trying to uplift people. But what I would like to say is that it can't be the only strategy. That can be the majority of the time. Let's say do that 80% of the time.
Yeah.
Then the other 20% of the time, just like have a standard.
Yeah.
And if somebody falls below the standard,
yeah,
or somebody is outplaying somebody else, or you got to make a tough choice.
Yeah.
Make the tough choice that is the right choice rather than the easy choice. And I think he's making the easy choice that's the wrong choice a little bit more than I'd like to see. I'm not going to say every time or anything like that, but I've seen it a couple times this year. So
yeah, I think that area, maybe pressure from management. We don't know what that's like, right? But I think that's something that Nick Nurse really disliked about his last year. I think he felt he was unable to coach Scotty Barnes the way that he coached other players. And I think that was apparent with the way that he talked about certain things. I think he was like, if I want to sit this guy, I don't think I can. I don't know if Darko has that same feeling. I think he just is more of a bring you up guy rather than be super harsh on you, which exactly, I think it has its importance and its time. But is that good for playoffs? Well, coaches win in playoffs. The guys who can do both, right? Not the guys who just love bomb. Steve Kerr is not a love bomb guy. He has no problem, F your feelings, you're sitting, who cares, right?
Yeah.
And
but I would say Steve Kerr is kind of in the Darko mold of a guy who's trying to uplift and carry, like he is whenever you hear him talk about his players or whenever you hear him like going on about like he's always got his players' backs. And I don't think I've ever heard him call out a player to the media.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never heard him go after one player, say like this player needed to play better. They weren't up to standard, this or that. But you're absolutely right that I don't think there's ever been a coach that can get away with not having that standard. So yeah,
that's that. So with that said, I think that's about all we've got for the show.
Absolutely. Well, folks, thank you for tuning in to the Raptors Report podcast. It's always great to have this show go on. This is like got to be a record for us, an hour and 32 minutes. I am going to be uploading this episode to Spotify. So if you are a Spotify listener, please be a regular. We're going to be doing most of our episodes. They're going to be showing up on your feed most of the time on Monday. If there's not a game on Monday, if there is, we'll be doing it the day afterwards or whatever the next available time slot is. But yeah, well, hopefully that you can check us out there. You can check us out on YouTube. You can check us out on Twitter. My username is @RapsReport. This is Steve. He is @Raptors Shack on Twitter. And he also has a YouTube channel. Why don't you pitch that?
Same name, Raptors Shack, just doing some player breakdowns and some, going over trade stuff, that kind of thing. Twitter wise, I'm currently banned for 7 days, so miss me on there.
We forgot to forget.
Yeah, I got a little carried away when Kat elbowed Scotty Barnes, and apparently a Knicks fan didn't like that. So got reported for that. So I'm taking a 7-day break on that. So definitely won't be on Twitter. But otherwise, yeah.
Okay, folks. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week.
Thanks, guys.